Yo, what's up guys, Shujinkydink here, and welcome to a video all about Cetrion. Today I'm going through her matchups. I've played pretty much every character in the game at this point, so this is for the Force of Nature tournament variation, by the way, so if you play like a casual variation or spring cleaning, just ignore this, because your matchup numbers will be different. But yeah, so I've sorted this into three different categories because I don't think that she has any matchups outside of these three. So we got 6-4, which means that Cetrion wins. It's an easy matchup. So if you're unfamiliar with matchup numbers, how these work are you take like a first to 10, for example, or a 10 game set. How many matches would one character win over the other based on just moves and skill set, or moves alone, and not taking into accountability like one player is better than the other, that kind of thing. So 6-4 is Cetrion's winning. So out of 10 games, she wins 6 of them, opponent wins 4. 5-5, of course, is even. So, you know, it's fairly even matchup if both players play the characters to their strengths. And 4-6 means that Cetrion loses. So a very slight disadvantage. It's not like, oh my god, she gets blown up, it's helpless. It's like, no, there's a couple advantages the other character might have. You could start going into like 7-3s and 8-2s, but I don't think Cetrion has any of those. Nothing feels really that bad. So we are going to get started here with Mr. Baraka. And I believe that this matchup is a 5-5 matchup, for the sole purpose of that Cetrion can keep him out in this variation. He doesn't really have anything that can really super punish the ground pound. That's going to be a big thing. In this variation, she does get the ground pound, but there is a gap in it between the hits. Some characters can really abuse that, others can't. Baraka is one of those that, like, at full screen, there's not really a whole lot he can do. So with all of her other zoning options and stuff like that, she can keep him out for a fair amount of time. However, Baraka can get back in and do some decent damage. I'm speaking more to like the more tournament variations, like the more common ones. So for Baraka, we're going to go with Marauder here. I do think Bone Picker as well is a 5-5, just because of that control of the neutral that he has. But for this one, I'm talking about the Marauder variation. So yeah, I think it's 5-5. He makes up the damage when he gets in on Cetrion, and she kind of has to hold that. But she does keep him out, so I think it's pretty close to the 5-5. With Cassie, I'm going to give a very slight edge to Cetrion in this one, because Cassie doesn't really have the greatest zoning. She doesn't do the greatest damage when she's up front. Her neutral is pretty good, but I don't think it's anything that Cetrion has to worry too much about, and she does keep her full screen fairly easy. The low shot, it can be kind of a problem, but we can counter that with a lot of block damage to make up for the block damage that she has. So I think that it's a slight advantage to Cetrion. Cetrion is unwinnable, absolutely unwinnable. We're putting her up here in her own tier. Cetrion versus Cetrion is like, good luck, bro. D'Vorah, I want to say, is kind of 5-5 because she does have a lot of stuff that can kind of shut down Cetrion zoning, but she doesn't really do much once she gets in that really Cetrion has to worry about. I'm going to give a slight edge to Cetrion there, but it's not a blowout by any means. Erron Black, 5-5 matchup for sure. This is one of the interesting things about this variation, is that it has really solid zoning, especially against some of the top tier, like Erron Black. Like, there's not much he can do against like her ground pound. Like if he tries to scud shot the ground pound, and the second hit of the ground pound will actually hit him. If he tries to scud shot, he can block it, but there are situations where you know, maybe the recovery is too long if he does it too late. So he'll scud shot the first hit of the ground pound, and the second one will hit. And he can't scud shot in between them. I tested that earlier; it doesn't work. The boulders he can scud shot, and the forward, the down back forward 1, the boulder summon, he just kind of has to hold that. But when Erron Black gets in close and Cetrion, it's all him, as pretty much every character is. So Cetrion does have a little bit more options than most to kind of keep him full screen here, but Erron Black is just Erron Black when he gets in. So oh, I have this on the wrong spot, I think. Sorry, I just realized that because I had to move Garrus. Garrus definitely beats Cetrion 4-6. Just, you know, that sand trap is just it's way too risky for Cetrion to do anything. She's forced to fight up close, and very little options. She can down 3 under like his forward 2-1-3 or 4-2-1-2 or whatever it is, but it's very specific timing that I wouldn't really count on. So yeah, that's definitely in Garrus's favor. Jade is an interesting one. I'm going to give a slight advantage to Jade here because she can shut down the majority of her zoning with her purple glow, and she does control some space that Cetrion kind of struggles to control. But Cetrion doesn't have, like, no options, you know. That was bad grammar, but whatever, call it what you will. The tendril pull will actually hit Jade out of her purple glow. It's her only physical attack that she has that'll work, but Jade has a much bigger advantage over the zoning, and then when she gets in, you know, of course, neither character really does great damage. Jade has a little bit more range and a couple decent mix-ups, so slight advantage to Jade on that one. Jax is a 5-5 for... I almost want to put it 6-4 Cetrion, but I don't think so. I think that Jax, when he gets in, is pretty scary. Lots of different options and staggers, and everything's safe, so it's hard for her to punish anything that he does. But again, she can kind of keep him away. His zoning is kind of slow. The Thumper is kind of annoying, though. If he makes the right reads, it can be kind of troublesome for Cetrion, so that's why I have it as 5-5. Johnny Cage is a solid 6-4 for Cetrion's favor. Again, there's not really much he can do when he gets up close, and she can keep him away pretty good. He does play good neutral, and that's kind of where he will excel in this matchup, but I don't really see him doing too much against Cetrion. Cabal, I'm going to put as 5-5. He can contest her zoning. She can make some hard reads and get some crushing blows with her straightforward rock, but I don't think that it's anything that's going to be too game-changing in the matchup. She can keep him out a little bit. The threat of his fatal blow is pretty crazy, so it's not really... yeah, I don't know. 5-5. That's my guess. Kano, 6-4 for Cetrion. She can keep him out pretty good with the down 2 crushing blow on his command grab. Doesn't have to worry about that as much. So just one more advantage there. But Kano's pretty strong. I mean, he's got some options. Maybe not in his Molotov variation where he throws that thing that's like 70 plus frames or whatever. Katana, 5-5, I think. Again, we can keep her out. That seems to be the story of this whole thing. We can keep her out. She does have an option to punish the ground pound at mid-range, where she can jump straight up and then just do the instant air ass across and hit us in the face. Can crushing blow, depending on the distance. So she definitely has some good options, good staggers when she actually rushes us down. So definitely 5-5. This is the only matchup that I'm not too sure about, is Collector. He does have the teleport to kind of get around her zoning and that fast command grab. So from the Collectors I've played, I want to put it as a 5-5, but Collector players seem to think that he's really garbage, and I just don't see why. But you know, from my experience and what they're saying, I'll put him at 5-5. Kotal Kahn, easy 6-4 for Cetrion. Doesn't really have much to contest up close. Far away, he only has like either the little kitty pounds or his disc, none of which we really care about. We can actually ground pound under the disc if we time it right. So, I mean, easy win for us. Liu Kang is a 5-5. Can't really zone him. Can't really outspace him that much. He does get a little bit more end close, but you know, I don't know. It's Liu Kang. He's like really good at, well, not really good, but he's like above average at like most everything in the game. So I think it's a solid 5-5. Noob Saibot, I'm gonna put it the same, 5-5. The teleport is annoying. He can teleport in between the ground pounds, so you got to be really careful about that, how you use that. More on a read that it will hit than actually just throwing it out. You can zone him out otherwise, and maybe he'll be fishing for that ground pound and get a little bit more up close. I mean, he does have a lot of highs, so I mean, there's a lot of down 2 opportunities there. And yeah, I mean, that one mid string that he does though, where he kind of moves back with his shadow, not much Cetrion can do about that. I've labbed that a little bit. So that's kind of frustrating, kind of just throw that out. But outside of that, not too scary. Raiden is the matchup I think we lose. Raiden does deal with Cetrion zoning really well with the teleport. He can teleport and punish the ground pound, teleport on reaction to the boulders. We can't cancel it and play that mind game, but take some defensive meter. He can also Superman if he doesn't want to make like the hard read on the teleport in between the ground pound. So, I mean, up close, I mean, it's pretty even, but Raiden does some really good damage, especially if he gets that back 2 crushing blow. That's scary. So I think a slight advantage to Raiden there. Same thing to Scorpion, same idea. He can teleport. We always have to be on our toes. We can't really do much because her startup on her zoning is a little bit too slow for Scorpion's teleport. So that's that. Shao Kahn is interesting. I'm gonna put him as 5/5 because the spear is a good trade for him. Like if he spears us, I mean, he gets a little bit of an advantage there because it holds us down. So we can manage to get one out around our zoning, and then he's got the lunging overhead hammer smash, which can be kind of annoying to deal with. I mean, outside of that though, he is kind of gimmicky, but he does decent damage and deals with his zoning really well. So I think it's probably I'll keep it even for now. Scarlet is one I'm going to put as losing. The one variation with the teleport. I mean, again, she doesn't have to worry about much, even without the teleport and the other variation. She does a great job of controlling space and can actually counter zone us really well. So I think the Cetrion's options are very similar to Scarlet's, but just a little bit slower, giving Scarlet a slight advantage. Sonya, I'm going to put as 5/5 because, yes, she does good damage, she has good mix-ups, but Cetrion can keep her out, similar to kind of Aaron Black in this kind of top tier that, you know, destroy the rest. But, you know, Cetrion, I think in this variation does really well. I think she can handle her own at full screen. Sub-Zero I'm going to put in the winning category for us. I don't think that he's much of a threat up close, especially playing some like logs offline. He was using the Dead of Winter, and his overhead is pretty reactable offline, so not too scary of a 50-50 there. The meter burn ice ball can be kind of frustrating if he kind of throws it out, but I mean, just meter management and watching it, so I don't know. Frost, I'm going to put as 5/5, maybe 6/4. I don't know though, because she does have some good counter zoning, and that mid range is kind of good. Just up close is kind of where she struggles. So like, I don't think that Frost really wants to fight Cetrion up close. She wants to stay in that mid range and counter zone with her projectiles and her ranged moves, and you know, just up close for like throws and stuff. Maybe that's about it. Jackie is one that I'm torn on. I want to put it in 5/5 because she does so good up close, but at the same time, I've never really struggled against any Jackie players. So, I mean, I almost want to put it in 6/4, but like seeing what Jackie can do, I think the smart idea is just to put it in 5/5. Because like up close, she is kind of scary, but she has like no options full screen unless you're playing the other variation, in which case it's not as scary up close. So you do have those other options, and Cetrion's projectiles are better than hers at full screen. So, yeah, I'm going to leave her at 5/5 for now. I don't think Cetrion loses that in this variation whatsoever. So that's my matchup chart for Cetrion, guys. How does your character do? Do you disagree with anything I said? Do you play like the weird variation that like somehow beats this in like some weird way I haven't played? Let me know in the comments down below. And if you're new here, please subscribe because we make videos every single day. #BigDinkEnergy. We'll see all you guys in the next video.